Yo, what's up everyone? Today we're checking out Drive Rally. This released on September 25th, 2024. A little bit late on the video. I recorded it before, but it ended up being over an hour because I was having fun playing the game and didn't realize how much time passed. So I'm going to do it again. I'm doing it live. No fancy microphone, no nothing, no editing. Just going to do a live, show you guys the game. It's by Pixel Perfect Dude, who developed the Drive game on mobile. It's available on Steam, Epic Games, and GOG. Or GOG, whatever people call it. It supports controllers, wheels. I haven't checked out the wheel support yet. I'm going to do that soon. I think that deserves its own video because that's a whole, that's a whole thing in itself. So compatibility, force feedback, settings, all that stuff. I'm going to check it out in a different video, and it's definitely worth checking out because the game is fun. So if the game was like, all right, not every game needs to be played on a wheel. Honestly, I have a sim rig set up, but not every game needs to be played on the wheel. This is a lot of fun on the controller, so I've just been playing on controller for now. These are the settings. If you want to check out the full game settings, I'll link them in the description. I have another channel that's only settings. That's actually what's called only settings, and it ripped off a logo from another site that I need to completely change. I should rebrand that channel because it was done as a troll, and I think, the joke is kind of over. I've been uploading more videos as time goes on, so I think it's time to update that channel, but let's get into this game. There are two modes. You have championships and you have quick race. There are 4 different areas you can race in. And there are 4 different co-drivers for each area. So you have Germany here. And your co-driver is Hans. You have Finland. Your co-driver is George. No, I'm sorry. This is the US. Here you have Finland. And your co-driver is Emma. And finally you have Southeast Asia with your co-pilot is Jack. And they call out turns for you. They call out upcoming corners and what's coming up in the track. There are several different cars in the game with different variations. So these are the cars. You have 3 variations of each. So you have like a stage 1, a stage 2, and a stage 3. Different performance, different power and weight. Different drivetrain even on some of them. And actually different transmission looks like. So that has to do only with performance. There is also cosmetic customization for each one. So you've got hoods, front bumpers, rear bumpers, exhaust systems, fenders or wide bodies, rear spoilers, and wheels and tires. Now when if you purchase a different, or if you earn, you could purchase or earn cars in this game. A different variation of the vehicle. For example, this one. Stage 2 already has some of those mods equipped. And Stage 3 has other mods equipped. But you can kind of mix and match depending on the vehicle. So if we go to customization here, this one already has like this hood equipped for example. I can go ahead and equip this one on this specific variation. So some are locked. Maybe just because I need to purchase it. Yeah, so I purchased it. It's unlocked now. So I can go back to that. And what people might end up doing if they want to get really meta with the game is taking like the fastest variation of a vehicle here with, the wide body and everything. And then going back to narrow body. Let's see if that works. First for 1,000. Yeah, I can go back to narrow body. So if you really want to min-max the game and be meta, I guess that's one way of doing it. But I don't know how competitive people are going to get with that. There are online leaderboards, and there are penalties for hitting barriers, as we'll see in a second. But there's a little bit of a meta there too with corner cutting. But anyway, these are all the vehicles, and they're all modeled off of real life counterparts. So you may recognize some of these cars and trucks. So I'm just flipping through the 3 variations of each. But again, you can customize them to your liking. So you could have a powerful car that looks stock, or you could have a slow car that looks powerful. As far as championship mode goes, there are 4 different, like I mentioned, 4 different areas, 4 different co-pilots. And basically, the way it works is you have this book here. And you complete a race. Once you complete the race, you unlock a part or a vehicle. You earn money. and you get on a leaderboard. So that's pretty much how it is. Once you finish one track, get to the next one, and so on. Money seems to be no problem in this game. You can earn everything by playing it, it seems like. All the parts and all of the cars can be earned by playing, or you could purchase them. And I have 249,000 right now, and it just hasn't been an issue. I could probably go and buy most things right now and be fine. But I'm playing through the championship modes, you know, just to play the game. That's kind of the bulk of the game. That's where the content is, other than just hopping in a car and racing for leaderboards. So these are the different areas here. As I mentioned, there are 4 different areas. There are 48 layouts for each area. So there's actually 24, but you can reverse them. So 48 in total. And they get longer as you progress. So these are like 2 kilometers. And as I scroll through these areas here, you'll notice they start to get a little bit longer. Until finally, when you get to the end, you're at like 9 kilometers. So that's going to take you several minutes to complete. And then you could reverse. You could do each one in reverse, which is really cool. So Germany, the US, desert, Finland, and Southeast Asia. Undisclosed location. So let's go ahead and do a quick race. We'll just do like the stock. This is like the car that they start you out with. So we'll just do it stock. And we'll go to one of the first areas here. Check out some gameplay. So there are 2 different views in the game. You've got this cockpit cam. And of course you can choose between manual and automatic. You've got your e-brake, your gear shifting, you know, accelerator, brake, and steering. That's pretty much it. Nothing crazy. There are ghosts in the game, as you can see. And I'm not sure which ghost it shows, if it's just the next one on the leaderboard or if it's top ghost. I don't think it's top ghost. That caught me by surprise. And there's this view as well. So usually I play a cockpit. Well, I always play cockpit if I'm sim racing, but if I'm not sim racing, if I'm playing more of an arcade game or more of a relaxed racing game, I actually like to use the view that only shows the hood. So this isn't quite it, but it works out. I know this is probably more enjoyable to watch in a video, so I'll try to just race in this mode, this view. And something worth mentioning is there is... I keep doing this. There is an alternate follow camera, and the difference seems to be kind of hard to notice. I haven't A and B'd it yet, but I've swapped between them and sort of taken a quick look, and nothing stands out immediately. This view may be a little more panned up, this camera, than follow cam 2, and the FOV might be very slightly different, but nothing really jumped out at me. So one thing about the gameplay in this game is these barriers here on the left, if you hit them, you're going to accrue a penalty. So as you can see on the top right, I accrued 0.7 seconds. And these barriers exist on both the inside and outside of corners. So if you're running wide, it sucks to begin with, but you're going to get a penalty on top of that. But there is a little bit of a strategy with corner cutting. We'll take a look at that in a second. So these are local leaderboards, which mean nothing. And then, of course, global leaderboards, which mean something. I'm actually ranked 6th on this somehow. Definitely not from that run, from a previous run, I'm sure. But the gap to the leader is 11 seconds. So you can see the top 12 entrants on the leaderboard. And if you're ranked below that, it's just going to say 13 plus. You'll be at the bottom of that. I respect that guy's name. I am 66 years old. I actually thought about doing that because I'm getting, well, I'm not quite 66, but I'm older than the average gamer, so I always wanted to troll with maybe putting, you know, I'm 41 years old or whatever. But anyway, let's go to a different location. We'll try a different vehicle, and we'll try something a little bit faster. So actually something good is to just go to the stage 3 of the same vehicle so you can see the difference. We'll hit the desert here. And I was kind of speaking, but I'm sure you heard the co-pilot in the previous location. So So already you can hear this car's got a much louder blow-off valve, different exhaust system. So there's an audible difference as well as a visual difference, and of course the performance difference. So like I mentioned, there's a little bit of a strategy with the corners. You can corner cut like I did right there, and I accrued no penalty because there weren't barriers. Other corners will have barriers like this one, and you'll get a penalty, but oftentimes it's worth taking the penalty and cutting the corner because you're saving a lot more time by cutting the corner than the penalty you're accruing. That said, if you cut like crazy, like that, you're gonna get reset. So you can't completely cut the track and get away with it. There is a little bit of you know, there are limitations to it. And of course in other corners you have trees or rocks or whatnot in the way, so you can't cut them at all. So, you know, it's up to you which corners you want to try cutting. I think I'm gonna get, alright, I made it. Which corners you want to try cutting and which corners you don't want to try cutting. Like that one maybe I could have cut, but we're on asphalt, so the grip is really good. My runs are going to be nothing special because, you know, I'm just playing the game for the video, but I'm not super competitive anyway. But let's go ahead and try something completely different. We got a truck here, and we'll go with the souped up version here. We'll hit the snow. So the game's a lot of fun to play. The driving model is really fun. This truck, I feel like, yeah, this one bogs out off the line for some reason.
Time to show off our super speedy move.
I got a different co-pilot. I'll try to drive in this view. It's probably better for viewing. Yeah, driving models are extremely fun. It's one of those games that you could just pick up and play for like 10 minutes when you have no time. But it's also one of those games that'll melt that'll melt time away as you're going for better times on the leaderboard. And before you know it, like I said in the last video I tried to record, over an hour passed and I was like, I can't post this. It's just too much. Whoops.
Let's stay calm and cruise on.
Let's do that. Okay, let's reset.
Exploring is fun, but the race is on the road.
So she's a bit sassy, and they actually just added that reset here. That takes a second and a half. Used to be instant, but in a patch, post-launch patch, they changed it to take 1.5 seconds, which I think is good. I think that's fair instead of just an instant reset. There's a ghost right here. I'm not sure if you guys can see it. Right there in front of me. Kind of hard to see. Different vehicle. So I'm not sure how the ghosts work again. Like, it seems to be multi-class or multi-vehicle at least. So I'm not really sure how that works. That was a Vitello, the car type Vitello, and from the little I played, I believe that actually was a Vitello. So it probably just shows, well, I'm 13 plus, I'm not 13th, so, and the gap there is kind of big, so, yeah, I'm not sure which ghost it shows. There isn't also an option to disable ghosts completely. I'm not a big fan of ghosts in racing games generally because I tend to follow their line sometimes and I get thrown off. It is good for learning a track sometimes, but I'm not a huge fan of ghosts in racing games. For those on a Steam Deck, this seems to run really well on it. So I have a Steam Deck OLED and I tested it out. I should shift. And it ran really well with the game maxed out. You're going to want to probably cap your frames at 60 frames per second on it. Unless you disable this option here. Where are we? This option here, volumetric lighting. If you turn that off, you should get a solid 90 FPS on the Steam Deck OLED. If you turn it off, you're going to fluctuate a little bit below 90. So I just capped it at 60, and it was perfect. That said, I didn't test different compatibility modes, and I didn't really play for that long on the Steam Deck. So take that with a little bit of a grain of salt, but it seemed really solid. And again, the wheel support I have not tried yet. I will definitely give that a shot. I have a Fanatec set up, and we'll try that out. So again, I'm not really playing super competitively here, but not that I'm alien or anything to begin with, but. Alright, let's see how we did. 12th, which is so this is 12th, but it has me in first place. I'm gonna take it. The gap says 0. I got first place on that. I'm gonna take that. Not many people did that combination, so for now I'll take my first world record on that leaderboard. No achievement for that unless I already unlocked it at some point. There might have been one for like top percentage, but I honestly don't think there was, if I remember correctly. But that's it. That's pretty much the game. You've got a ton of cars and track combinations. The game's early access, so a lot more content is coming, I'm sure. And then, of course, you have the championship mode, which I've been doing here. And, you know, like I mentioned, it's pretty much just do a race, unlock a part or a vehicle, and do the next race. I can keep racing, but that's pretty much it. If I keep racing, the video is going to be probably too long than most people would like it. But if you think the game is cool, check it out. Drive Rally on Steam, Epic Games, and GOG. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.